Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to Samus Prime. I'm Jason. I've been looking forward to doing this playthrough for a while. This is going to be presented in HD using a texture pack that I created. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we go. We've just been having a lot of fun lately creating new content, so I'm glad for those of you who have stuck around and been subscribed for a long time. And this channel's been up for quite a while, and so for those of you who also got to check out my Prime 4 playthrough, is my first ever blind playthrough on the channel. This obviously isn't going to be a blind playthrough, as I've played through this game several times, but I think it'll still be a good time, so let's go ahead and get started. Yeah, so I created this texture pack for the presentation of this video. I wanted it to look the best that it could. I've had some people mention that they'd be interested in using this texture pack themselves, and so I am going to be releasing this texture pack with this video. So there'll be a link down in this in the description of the video where you guys can download the texture pack. It is hosted on my Patreon, but you don't have to actually pay for it. It'll be free. So if you guys did want to support me that way, it's really cool. I appreciate it, but it's completely unnecessary. But yeah. I don't know, oddly enough, it seems like Reshade is kind of causing a little bit of slowdown for some reason. It really didn't do that before. But it should be okay. It also might just be on my end. But yeah, the texture pack I did for this is 2 times upscale, which resulted in some pretty clean results. All the texture packs I found online that I was looking at using were all 4 times upscaled, and really that just introduces more artifacting and it just doesn't look as clean. 2 times seems to have been the best result, at least as far as I've been able to come up with. So I've also created some of these textures from scratch. These panels here, for instance, the control panels here, I did those from scratch because even upscaled 2 times, they're just so small that they just didn't look great. So yeah, see, you might see a little bit of jankiness with the reshade there, because whenever I click off screen and then back on the screen, I have to kind of reset the depth, 3D depth buffer. This beginning of this game is a little bit of a slog, but I can get through it pretty quickly. I remember playing this game originally with the Wiimote on the Nintendo Wii, and it's a really fun way to play it, but I definitely prefer playing it using Prime Hack. I'm just using the controller instead of the keyboard and mouse though. And yeah, man, it's awesome. Just kind of set it up to control a lot like how Prime Remastered controls. That seems to be running great actually now. I did have a little bit of slowdown earlier when I first, because this is probably like the 3rd take that I've started, because I had slowdown and it was upsetting me a bit. As I had to kind of adjust my settings a little bit, which is weird because I did a test recording and I was able to record it with multi-sampling, anti-aliasing, and a bunch of other settings that I end up toning down a bit, but for whatever reason they were just kind of causing a bit of a rendering lag, and I don't want that. I want this game to look as smooth as possible for this playthrough. But honestly, I can't see much difference in the quality. There's definitely a little bit more aliasing, but it's not too bad. And then also I got to take into account the compression that YouTube adds to the video anyway.
Calibration complete. Samus, welcome to the flagship Olympus. Admiral Dane is waiting for you in the briefing room.
Alright. So as far as scanning and all that, I'm not too concerned with scanning other than what I have to scan. So this isn't going to be a big lore dump like my Prime 4 playthrough was. But yeah, this game's super enjoyable. If you guys watch my Prime 4 playthrough, I really appreciate it. I had some feedback on it, both positive and negative. Some people thought I was shilling a bit for Nintendo. I feel like I was fair in my critique as well as my criticisms, and well, in my positive feedback as well. I don't feel like the game was completely horrible like some people seem to, but I also definitely had its faults. I'm using Reshade, as I'd mentioned. I might do a video at some point with the shaders that I'm using, just to kind of show you guys what I'm using, as well as maybe show you how to set it up. I think most people know how to set up Reshade these days, but I can show you how I set it up for this gameplay exactly. But yeah, I might do that at some point. 13576. Yeah, this beginning is a little bit slow. I think most people, that's the issue they have with this game. It's the beginning. Maybe the cell grind, the energy cells, but I actually enjoy that too. I feel like that was done better in this game than Prime 4. Overall, I enjoy this game way more than I did playing through Prime 4. The original trilogies still has a lot great things in it, and Prime 4 did have some good things going for it as well, namely the aesthetic and the graphics, but there were some other things I liked. You can watch the last playthrough I just uploaded, the last playthrough video of Prime 4, to kind of see more what I thought about the game. But I didn't hate it. There were parts I hated about it though. But yeah, overall it was enjoyable up to a certain point, and then it kind of just dropped off a cliff for me personally. This game, however, this game's pretty consistent. I think the beginning is the big slog, and then after this, it kind of moves a lot quicker. But yeah, you guys will have to let me know what you think of the quality of this playthrough, as far as the video quality that I'm doing, but also like the HD texture pack and my reshade settings. I feel like it looks pretty dang good, but I'm always open to hearing people's thoughts and critiques on things. I don't feel like anything I do is perfect, obviously, but I'm pretty happy with how this is looking.
Aren't you Samus Aran? It's an honor to meet you.
Yes, I am Samus Aran. Gosh, I try to think about how many times I've actually played through this game. I think it's been at least 5 or 6, maybe more. The game I've played through the most is the original Prime, and the game I've played through the least is, well, Prime 4 obviously I've only played through once, but Echoes I've also only played completely through like 3 times. I'll do a playthrough of that too. I'm also still working on textures for that game. Maybe we'll have some more on that here soon. We're also looking at possibly making some upgrades to NPR Prime Hack, and so we'll see where that goes. But yeah, I'm excited still for the work we're doing, and again, I appreciate all you guys who are still watching the channel after all these years. It's been a long time. I don't really need to drop a save, but why not? I tell you though, Reshade has come a long way. These shaders that I'm using are amazing. It's all screen space, but it does a great job of adding lighting, and really it makes a lot of this stuff look like it actually has material maps and normal maps when it doesn't. Oh, that's right, I had to save to get this guy to get out of my way.
Enough.
Gandrita. It's an interesting name.
Looks like everyone's here now. Before I begin the briefing, let me introduce 242, the flagship's Aurora unit.
Ah, an organic supercomputer. Fascinating. It's my understanding that the Galactic Federation's core network is comprised of such units.
That is correct, Core. And we serve as the network's master control. However, currently the network is down.
Yeah, as far as scanning everything,
Seems inefficient.
I'm not gonna really worry about that. Obviously, it's not gonna be a big lore dump like I did with my Prime 4 playthrough. I may have said that already, but yeah, I just want to reiterate that I'm just trying to get through this game quickly. Really, this is just about the presentation and also just, you know, making more content for the channel and dropping this texture pack for you guys. Just really appreciate your support on the channel for all these years, like I said, and I just want to do some fun stuff, you know.
GFS Valhalla went missing while on a training mission in the Klar Nebula. The ship's logs revealed that they were attacked by a space pirate raiding vessel.
What is the logic in disrupting a Federation training mission?
They're pirates. How could they resist a prize like that?
That never would have happened if I'd been there.
Then it's a shame you weren't. The pirates boarded the Valhalla and gained access to the ship's Aurora unit, 313. This is how they were able to hack into the network and plant the virus.
Thanks to our security,
I actually really like the story in this game too.
shut down the network before the damage from the virus became irreversible.
There isn't as much lore as there is in Prime 1 and
Pirates decided
Echoes,
to launch a major offensive. We'd
I
be
feel,
hard-pressed to defend ourselves.
but
We must
they still do a pretty good job of the world building and
online.
keeping you invested.
That's where you come in.
Especially because it's the conclusion, you know, of the trilogy, so you are interested to see how it plays out with Dark Samus.
We'd also like you to investigate the pirates' activity in the
It's one of the things about Prime 4 I felt that was
they're up to.
really lacking as far as versus these three first original games is the antagonist just isn't as well developed as Dark Samus, which is funny because Dark Samus doesn't really have a ton of lore either, other than she was created from Samus's phazon suit in the first game by the Metroid Prime. But the fact that Dark Samus basically is the Metroid Prime it's really cool, I think, you know. And I like Silex, but he just wasn't as interesting, and then they didn't flesh his character out enough at all, so that was another issue I had with that game. I'll definitely be talking a lot about Beyond as I play this, just because I just played it, but also the comparison, you know, and maybe kind of give my thoughts more on why it's just not as good as the original trilogy, including this game.
Samus, get to your ship. We need you down on the planet until we get the fleet in formation.
I think if I were to rate the three games, as far as the, you know, which one I think is the best, I would say Echoes, and then closely behind that would be Prime 1 and this game. I'd probably put them about the same, 2A and 2B. They definitely have their flaws. I think the game I enjoy playing through the most is probably Prime 1. Even though I really like Echoes, I just think that it takes a bit more of a commitment to play through because there's a lot more there and it's more difficult. Oh, did I just kill that guy? I don't think I've ever done that. Dude, I don't think I've ever done that. I didn't. I just shot the box and killed him. That's messed up. I didn't get the medal. That's funny. Yeah, maybe I'll get one here if I don't let this guy die. If I don't kill him myself. There we go. Those medals actually are one of the original textures that I created from scratch. I still can't believe I did. That was pretty funny. Let's see if I can save these guys. Or this guy, I guess it's just one. There we go. Yeah, he got rocked a little bit. Yeah, my goal for this first video is definitely to get through this intro. I do like the remix of this track they did for EP1, but I really like this one more. I feel like this one's better. A lot of the music in Beyond is really good though. That's the one thing about all 4 of the Prime games is the music is so good. I mean, it's definitely subjective which one you think is best. I feel like there's tracks in Beyond that are definitely in my top 5. One in particular is the Vault Forge, but I know that one Ray had mentioned that he really liked was the one, I think it was in the Ice Vault. Oh, what was that there this whole time? That was weird. It was like hiding behind that. That was pretty cool. Alright, I think I definitely zeroed in my settings because it feels like it's playing really smooth. Oh wait, duh. Yeah man, Prime Hack is so great for this game. They put in a lot of work specifically for this game because of all the extra motion controls and stuff. Because this was, out of all 3 Prime games, I'm sure you guys are aware that this was the one that was made specifically for the Wii. The trilogy, you know, they added the motion controls to the other 2 games, but this game was made for the Wii, and so there's a lot more motion controls in it. So the Prime Hack team had to, you know, take that into account, and it took a lot of work on their part in order to make it play this well with the controller, man. It's awesome. Or keyboard and mouse. These little dudes are just weird, aren't they? They're little meatballs. Walking meatballs. Oh yeah, I like this part where Rundus is up there fighting. It's awesome. Oh yeah, I like this part where she gets ejected out into space and has to get back into the spaceship. That's pretty cool. Another thing I want to talk about a little bit throughout this playthrough is what we're working on for NPR for the future, the mod NPR. We'll go more into that, but I'm still working on some stuff for Echoes. There's definitely the possibility that Nintendo does a complete remake of Echoes as well, but actually I will not be mad at that. That would be fine with me. But I think a lot of people are seeing the value in playing the games this way, even if there is a remake. For instance, with the original, the Metroid Prime Remaster, it's awesome. plays amazing, pretty much like the first, like the original does. But I don't know, there's just definitely things that I feel are a little different, and the things that we bring to the table as far as the artwork that we're able to do, but like the custom suits and stuff like that, you know, that's fun. And I think people like to use those, so that could be something else that we do, even for this game, but for sure for Echoes. But yeah, I might look into making some original suits for this game. Might be cool, instead of just having her corruption suit slowly evolve throughout the game, to actually have different suits, and that's definitely a possibility. I could do that, so I might look to do that at some point. But right now I'm working on texture work for Echoes. It's coming a little slow because I'm not able to dedicate as much time as I was on NPR original Prime, but yeah, I'm still putting in some work, and so hopefully I'll have more to show you guys coming up soon. That's also a reason, I mean, the main reason I did the HD texture pack for this game and the original texture work that it did do for this was because I wanted to up the presentation value for this playthrough specifically, but I also wanted to make it available to you guys just as a show of gratitude for the support that you guys have given me for a long time now, really. You know, the channel originally was created in 2017, and so man, we're getting close to 10 years. That's insane. That's just crazy to me. It's crazy to think, you know, that people have been watching my channel for this long. I will say that the controller is a little bit more challenging, like stuff like this especially, than using the mouse and keyboard. So that's kind of cool. It adds a little bit layer of difficulty. Especially for this game. But you still get the lock on and stuff, but there's some stuff that you can't really lock on, where they really want to force you to use the pointer controls. And those parts can be a little challenging with the controller. But I like the challenge. I am up for it. I forgot about that. That's awesome. Threw a GF trooper out the window. I also think I might come back at one point and maybe recreate some of these textures for some of these NPCs. Even upscaled only 2 times, they're still a little bit rough. Like this boss, for instance, the Berserker Lord. A lot of people compare that first boss fight at the beginning of Beyond to this guy. I will say though that the way that the Metroids kind of go into him and create those little weak spots, it's pretty cool. I kind of wish they would have showed that when it comes to the other bosses in the game, like how they also are corrupted or whatever by the Metroids. But they don't really show that. They just kind of, I guess they allude to it in that first boss battle in the GF base. So I guess they felt like that was enough. They didn't have to do that. I just think it would be cool if they did that with most like at least a couple bosses, where you at least see some Metroids in Vuros actually attach themselves to the bosses. Oh crap. But they didn't do that. do feel like they had more they could have done with what they even had there as far as Beyond goes. They just kind of missed some opportunities, but overall, I honestly don't feel like it was a bad game. I just feel like the last part of it was bad, which is tough, you know. You end a game on a down note. It's kind of tough to have a positive outlook on it, but I really had to step away and look at the whole package, and that way I wasn't overly critical. Because when I first got done playing the game, I really felt like being overly critical. But then when I went back and thought about it, I enjoyed a lot of it, so. Some people might feel that's shilling. I don't really know what to say. I mean, this is my thoughts. I'm not on Nintendo's payroll. Wish. There's things about this game too that I'm not crazy about. A lot of people have a huge issue with this beginning part. This part and then Norion. That's another thing that's difficult with the controller in this game, is that battle with Ridley going down that corridor or whatever. I did a preview of this playthrough just for like a test, and I shared it with some friends, and I literally barely beat Ridley. Like, I was within 60 feet because you're dropping down, you know, and meters, whatever. And I was like within 60 meters and barely beat him, and that's the closest I've ever gotten to die in there. So like I said, I enjoy that challenge though. It's cool. It's cool to have that replayability too. And that's the one thing I feel like Beyond is lacking, because I honestly don't have a lot of desire to go back and play that game. Maybe, you know, I will at some point, hopefully, but I know I'm always going to dread that green crystal grind. And so yeah, this game, I wouldn't say I really dread this opening, but it's not my favorite. Once you get to Bryo, it's just like gets better and better. There's still Moganar and you know, parts that I'm not crazy about afterwards, but it's not horrible.
Stand to, Samus. Our situation doesn't look good. The pirate attack has knocked out our generators and disabled the planetary defense system. This cannon was our only weapon capable of taking out orbiting ships. We need you and the other hunters to get the generators back online and restore power to the cannon. I'm uploading the generator coordinates to you now.
Alrighty then, let's get this over with. I don't like dislike this part really or hate it. I just prefer Bryo, and of course Skytown's amazing. So I always look forward to getting there. So this part kind of feels like you're just playing through it to get to those other parts, but it does set the tone and for the story and stuff. Alright, got the grapple beam. Yeah, I remember I think originally Prime Hack with those little motion control deals there, like that one where you gotta twist the handle and stuff. I think it was done a little differently originally. Now it's like super easy. You just hold forward on the controller. If I remember right, you had to use different directions, and then they finally, I think, realized it would be better to not have to do that, which I'm glad they did. Dude, I always felt like this part right here was so creepy. All the dead GF troopers just kind of lying around. Like this guy over here. Flatline, cause of death, heart failure due to extreme cranial trauma. So he got smacked in the head really hard. Oh yeah, this one too, look how cool that is with this flashing visor. Yeah, that's the one thing I'll say that Retro has always done really well with these games, has been to add that that atmosphere, you know? It's really cool. Oh, I think I have to get rid of these guys first. Oh, I think I can go down here. Wait, I gotta... There. One thing I will say about Beyond versus these first three, I guess they're all can be somewhat polarizing. There's always gonna be people who prefer one game over the other, or have strong feelings, you know, one way or the other about a game, but it seems like Beyond is the most polarizing of the 4 games. I think this one too, at the time, you know, I can't really say like when it released, but I think some people still aren't crazy about this one. I personally, this was my favorite Prime for a while, till I kind of went back and played 1. Felt like they're probably about on the same level. I feel like the traversal of 1 is quite a bit better than this one. Just the interconnectivity of the world and stuff. The storytelling in the world, the building is amazing. And better in 1, I feel. But my favorite now is definitely Echoes. I just really like the challenge of Echoes. I mean, who doesn't like the light suit? But the challenge and the bosses are just some of the best boss battles in gaming. In this game, there's some strong boss battles, but none of them are even close to the peak that they reach in Prime 2. The lighting with these shaders too brings a lot to this game in some of these areas. Yeah, see, like these are all lore, which is cool because it kind of builds up the tension for your eventual battles with the other hunters. Although you don't, at this point, if you've never played the game, you don't know you're gonna have to fight them. Spoiler warning, I guess. I guess there still are some people who probably haven't played this game that have played the other Prime games. None that I know. Well, actually, that's not true. My son, he's currently playing through the remaster of Prime, and he did finish Beyond, and he hasn't played this yet. He's part of the reason why I wanted to do this too, because I wanted his first experience playing this game to be the absolutely best it can be. Outside of Prime Hack, I would probably suggest using a Wii remote, which you can use it's called a dolphin bar. I don't know if they still have the dolphin bar. I have one somewhere, but it would let you use your Wii remote with dolphin, so that's still an awesome way to play though. and then you get to actually play the game as it was intended originally. But man, Prime Hack's the way to go, personally. Oh, that was cool. I was able to shoot him off of that ledge. I don't think I've ever done that either. Just shoot him off the ledge right away like that. That was awesome. Man, that's what I mean. This game has a lot of depth to it. There's things I notice every time I play through it. One of the original characters, or one of the original textures that I created was this cannon, or arm cannon. I kind of based it a little bit off of a mix of Dread's cannon and Beyond, to kind of give it a look of its own, you know, just for fun. But if you guys play the texture pack, if you play using the texture pack, you'll get to see that, and definitely let me know. I think some people would rather have the original cannon. You could always pull the cannon out of the load folder and it would just load the original. Personally, I really like this cannon. Especially when she gets her PED suit. I feel like the green really matches well, kind of offsets the blues.
These pirates are more fragile than they appear. I just received word that the Federation is allowing all bounty hunters to use ship command devices.
Dude, why is Rundus so
You should
cool?
now be able to remotely command your ship and land it here. Don't forget to perform suit maintenance and data backup if you need. Generator A is just through those doors. While you head that way, I'll activate the generator on the west side. Between the two of us, this should be a breeze.
I got a question I just thought of. What would you guys think of if they did a prequel to the trilogy? Maybe that way you could have Rundus and the other hunters in the game and maybe show more about them. Or what would you think of a game where you actually could choose different hunters, including Samus? That would add a lot of replayability, because then you could play through the game as different characters. Even if it was just one other character. I would personally pick Rundus, but Gore is also pretty awesome. Gandreda, she's probably my least favorite, although as a playable character, she might be really cool. To actually be able to maybe, like, kind of like a Kirby deal where she could take the powers of others. Mimic their powers. That'd be pretty cool. One of the textures I feel like are the worst that I wanted to redo is this rock face here. It doesn't look so bad, and the sky boxes too aren't the greatest. But with the shaders I'm using, it definitely, it helps a lot. Yeah, I don't, like, that's a pretty ugly texture. It's pretty small to be stretched out over something that big. But yeah, I didn't get to that one. Yeah, I've got the controls set up pretty much to be identical to Metroid Prime Remastered on the Switch. Alright. This game still looks so good too. The upscale obviously helps, but even without it, it looks really good. For I think the art style is just really well done. It's kind of it stands up really well.
Samus, are you reading me? Something big is happening up here. What in the name of...
Uh-oh. This is probably the part I like the most about this opening area. It's just that sense of... like the first time you play through it, it just has like a real cool vibe.
Samus, it's heading right at you.
That sense of like fear.
Disabled the defense system. They intend to smash this thing into Norion. Get that cannon back online, or everyone down there.
Also, just setting up the cannon and stuff is pretty cool. Getting it back online. Plus, even though like this level is linear and there's not a lot of places to go, they did still add some stuff to it. Like the Hunter Metroid and stuff, like being able to come back later and fight that fight where it's almost optional.
Samus,
it's pretty cool.
At you. That's why the pirates disabled the defense system. They intend to smash this thing into Norion. Get that cannon back online, or everyone down there is as good.
As good as dead. Alright. Let's save and enter the ship. Alright. I actually think I'm moving through this pretty quickly. This game's a lot shorter than Beyond, I think, as far as playtime, so I don't think it'll be 20 videos or 21 videos like the Beyond playthrough was. Some of those videos, I think most of them are like an hour long too. But I was also doing a lore dump, scanning everything, because it was my first ever playthrough, which I'm not going to be doing in this one, so should move a lot quicker. I think there's parts of this game where, even after this, where the pace kind of, I don't know, it's like up and down a little. But overall, I feel like this game has a good pacing to it.
Or everyone down there is as good as dead.
For those of you who decide to download the texture pack, you'll have to let me know what you think. Obviously, the Reshade that I'm using, the settings and everything, add a lot to it. But the sharpness of the textures also, I think, add a lot to the presentation. I'm sure most of you guys who follow me use Reshade anyway, so you can add Reshade to the texture pack and hopefully get a result similar to this, if not better.
This one has finished bothering us. Go on ahead. I will stay here and protect the area.
I like this part where he kind of yells at her. Get out here!
Quick, generator C.
And reactivate the
defense system before we're all vaporized. Go on, get out of here.
His voice, so he changes too. It's pretty cool.
Our scans of the meteor have detected massive quantities of phazon. It could be some sort of bomb.
Massive quantities of phazon. That was the other thing about Beyond I felt like was kind of lame. The way they just kind of copy some of the things. The green energy instead of phazon, which just wasn't as interesting. Can you imagine if they had a phazon grind at the end of this? Like you have to literally grind all those, you know, all that phazon in order to get the last suit or something like they did in that game. I think I go this way. That was something Ray had brought up. Was just how like in these other games you get the final suit before they make you go through and do whatever grind you gotta do. The heck? I think I went the wrong way. I always do that in this part for some reason. But yeah, he made a really good point about that. I think I gotta go up here. $100 kills already. Oh wait, is this just back out where I came from, isn't it? I don't know why I always get turned around right here. Yes, it is. For some reason this area I get like mixed up. But yeah, he made a really good point how in these other games you get the final suit before you have to do the final grind. For the, like in Echoes, you gotta get the keys. But you are going through the dark world to find a lot of those keys, but you got the light suit in order to help you, which actually makes a lot of sense because, you know, it protects you from the damage you take in the dark world. So that's pretty awesome. I wish they would have did something like that with Echoes, because really the legendary suit, I think it's called, is pretty awesome. The design of it, although it's really reminiscent of the light suit, it does have its own vibe to it. And I just wish that they gave you more reason to use it. When I played through the final Silex battle, I forgot you could even use that shield in order to protect the GF troopers. So I didn't use it. But yeah, I forgot all about that. If they had maybe had you do something else before that battle where you had to use the suit, then I would have remembered it. But that's kind of one of the design elements that were different about that game that I felt could have been a lot better if they had stuck to the original formula. Come on, dude. Hopefully though we get a Prime 5 and they can fix all the issues that they had in 4. Honestly, other than Moganar, this upcoming Ridley battle is probably my least favorite. I guess it's not so bad with the mouse, it's just with the controller, it's kind of a pain. But I think I got it down. And it's not that I don't like the challenge, because I do like the challenge, but I don't know, it's just kind of a, I don't know, it's just a little bit of pain trying to shoot him in his mouth and all that to get broke, you know, when he grabs you to break free from him. It's definitely a lot easier with the mouse keyboard or the Wiimote.
Space Pirate Grey is definitely not my
But I mean, if they did bring this to the Switch, then that's probably what you'll end up doing, unless they give it mouse controls, which they probably would, I would think. I kind of feel like they are remastering these games. Maybe not like to the extent of Prime Remastered, especially this one. Maybe they will with Echoes. That's the one I would love to see remastered the most. But with this game, they might not completely remaster it. It might be something similar to this with just some improved lighting and HD textures and the UI elements. But I think the controls would probably control similar to this, and now I have it set up, so it works for the most part. But again, that's thanks to Prime Hack. I mean, they did an amazing job with this.
Samus, our efforts to slow the meteor have failed. You must hurry.
I'm trying, lady. Seeing even something as basic as this feels like was missing from Beyond as far as like the morph ball stuff. Although like some of the corridors you go through in Beyond are awesome, like the way they look and stuff, but it never felt like they put that much thought into any of the morph ball puzzles. Like I really liked the psychic bombs and how you could, you know, levitate them and use them that way, but they never really fleshed that out either. So I felt like it had some solid mechanics, you know, new mechanics, but they didn't use them enough, like in boss battles or just the puzzles in the game, especially. Oh man, did I forget to do that one? Dang it. That was dumb. I forgot you gotta go that other way. But yeah, I think they could have used some of that stuff a lot more than they did. And there was probably some things that I wanted to talk about in that last video for Prime 4 that we didn't get a chance to. A lot of the mechanics and things and different things that, you know, we could have critiqued that we didn't get a chance to. But there's always new videos, you know. I think we'll definitely be talking about that game. It's so polarizing that we'll be talking about it for a while. I just feel like if there was any new fans because of that game, hopefully there are, that they'll come back and play these games if they're new, you know, to the series, because they're just so good and they're really accessible with Prime, thanks to Prime Hack. If you have a PC that's capable, which I mean, you might not have a PC that, even a low-end PC, I guess I should say, is able to run this, you know, pretty well. You might not be able to pump up the internal resolution of 4K and add these intense shaders, but they're not necessary to enjoy this game. Yeah, it's a little bit easier than it was the first time. This is the part that I dislike though. I hate trying to hit his hand and all that. The cannon. There we go. Oh, see, because you lose like the angle is weird. I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's just weird. Definitely getting better with that too though. I mean, they didn't create a lock-on for this, obviously, for a reason. But being able to lock on to that's probably what Nintendo would do, actually, when I think about it. If they port this to the Switches, they'd probably create these segments where you could use your lock-on, just to make it a little bit easier. But honestly, it's not that hard once you've done it enough. I remember the first time though I played this fight, I really liked it a lot. I thought it was really cool to fight him right away and to fight him, you know, this way, like falling and stuff. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, you see the meters. The first time I did this with the controller, I literally got down to like 60 meters and it was crazy. I hit him with that last shot. It was pretty crazy. Gosh, and just being so far away from him. I'll just take that damage. The way Rundis kind of steps into to save the day on this part's pretty cool. That part's cool too. Ah, missed him. Yeah, this is a battle that's just not as strong as it is once you've done it so many times. The first time I did this, I really liked it. And I don't hate it or anything, it's just not my favorite. The way he like screams though when you hit him and when he's falling and stuff is pretty cool. Yeah, the way he like stops himself or slows himself down by grabbing onto the sides of the tunnel like that, it's pretty cool too. I feel like right here they should be able to, you should be able to lock on maybe, I don't know. But then again, yeah, the way it was designed for the Wii Remote, it makes sense that they did it this way. And if you are using a mouse and keyboard, it's super, it's just more fluid. I wouldn't say it's like super easy, but it's easier. I didn't do so bad that time. Rundis to the rescue.
That was a little too hot for my liking. Well done, Samus. But now you owe me one. I already took
Owe him one.
so I'll leave it to you.
Don't worry, she'll repay you in the worst way. Oh, his death is horrible. Horrible in a good way, though. It's awesome.
Done. Head to the control
It's just kind of feel bad for him. Alright. Let's get off Norion and get over to Bryo, man. Meta Ridley defeated.
Attention all personnel. Meteor impact will occur in 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Samus, all efforts to stop the meteor have failed.
Uh-oh, here it comes. Here comes the meteor.
Samus, all efforts to stop the meteor have failed. Now that the defense system is back online, you must get to the control tower and fire the defense camp. We are uploading the location of the control tower to you now.
Control tower, here I come. That's cool too, how like that is blocked off to you and doesn't open up until the space pirate jumps through there. Wait a minute. See what I mean about this spot? It always gets me turned around. Dude. This ain't the right way, is it? No. Yeah, I gotta get to the top right there. You would think after playing this half a dozen times I would not get lost right here every time. Not lost, just turned around basically. I swear it was this way. Right? Not too sure. Yeah. There's a door. Think. Yeah, this is it. Oh yeah, I gotta go through the PED suit too. I forget, that does kind of slow the game down, that little part there. But it's cool.
You're late. We were about to leave you behind.
The meteor is approaching faster than you think.
If we don't make it to the top in time, we can kiss this planet goodbye.
Hey, relax. We're the good guys. Justice will prevail and all that stuff. Right, Samus?
Here, let's do this.
All that stuff. Not for you guys, unfortunately. Does not prevail for these guys. It's kind of tragic. That's part of the story though, it's so cool, right? But there is kind of a tragic outcome for those guys. Dark Samus made quick work of all three of them, one shot. Oh boy. Original resolution hurts my eyes. Yeah, that's rough. But I mean, when this game released on the Wii, we were playing on, I think most people were still playing on regular CRT TVs. Flat screens were relatively new, super expensive. I know I played this game originally on a CRT. So that lower resolution and stuff, it looks a lot better on a CRT than modern OLED.
She's coming too. Can you hear me, Samus?
I can hear you.
Vital signs are stable. Welcome back, Samus. You've been asleep for quite some time. A month, to be exact. We feared we'd lost you.
A month?
Thanks to your great work, Norion is now safe. At the end of the battle, we found you and the other hunters all unconscious. Our medical examinations then yielded surprising results. Your bodies are now, somehow, self-generating phazon. What's even stranger is that there are no negative effects to your health. This led us to investigate.
Then why did you think she wasn't going to make it? She's 100% healthy, but we didn't know if you were going to die. I guess being in a coma for a month is pretty serious, right?
Phazon enhancement devices. We integrated this same phazon enhancement device into your armor while repairing your damaged bodysuit. Troopers wearing this device have phazon pumped to their weapons from an external backpack. This gives them an extra boost in firepower. But in your case, think about it. With this phazon coursing through your body,
that's like equal to strapping uranium to your back.
Internal energy, pretty effective, don't you think? Why don't you try the
All these GF troopers are gonna die of cancer in a couple of
Seal
years.
the room. Initiate PED program.
Recharging energy reserves.
That's one of the things that are a little bit different in this one than the other games. Is this having to go into this mode. I've got it set up to where I just use my R3, the right stick click.
You must have noticed during this test that hypermode, over the past month, we've learned the hard. Now
Okay.
that you are familiar with the workings of the PED device, you'd better get going. Good luck. Oh, and one more thing. After 25 seconds, the safety feature automatically ends hypermode. You'll have to keep paying attention.
Yeah, which malfunctions. I will say though, I really like this suit. It is dope. I guess if you're just gonna have a progression of the same exact suit throughout the game. I know she gets the, I think, is it the barrier pauldrons or whatever, or shoulders at some point. But for the most part, it just gets more corrupted looking. So that could be something where it could come in and create some custom suits and have it change versus just, you know, give her a new suit each time. Just for fun. We're actually talking about Aether Labs. That's the team that created Project NPR mod. We've been talking recently about repackaging what we have done, and then, you know, since I'm still working on echoes and things, we'll be adding stuff to it. But yeah, one of the things we've talked about is maybe adding custom suits for this game. The DLC program and stuff that we instituted with the mod, it'd be very cool to be able to just say, you know, choose what suits you'd like to use.
Samus, you made it. Glad to hear you're feeling better. Please proceed through these doors and... Subject Samus Baron entering A2 lift area. Security clearance 5 granted. Clearance confirmed, G5. Opening chamber vault.
Another thing we had spoken about in the past was possibly trying to do a VR mode for these games, which may still be on the table. It just takes a lot of work and dedication, and everyone in the team is really busy. It's actually been really awesome to see how some of the guys in the team, how their lives have, you know, gotten busier, but they're just doing so much cool stuff, and it's really cool to see.
Welcome, Samus Aran. Let us begin. Time is most critical. During the attempted pirate invasion of Norion, it was confirmed that 2 nearby planets were similarly attacked.
You know, I like the design of the AUs, but I kind of wish they would have took the route of going a little bit more organic, maybe made them look a little bit more like Mother Brain with the eye and the actual brain. That would have been really cool.
Gore to Elysia, while Gandreda was sent to locate the space pirate stronghold. Like you, they were outfitted with PED devices in order to confront this new threat. We lost contact with all of them 7 days ago, and fear the worst. In their absence, we need you to travel to these planets and finish their missions. The closest planet is Bryo. Please be on the lookout for any clues that might help us understand what happened to Runtus and the other hunters. Good luck.
Good luck. You're gonna need it, Samus. Those screens right there too, I did some extra work too, because the upscale for those was also pretty ugly. Pretty much all the screens I had to go in and do some extra work. Good luck, Samus.
Samus, the fleet is now moving to the rendezvous location. You will no longer be able to dock with us from this point forward. Rest assured, we will keep.
And that would be something that'd be really cool, is if you could swap out some of these models, because that would be awesome to recreate the AUs to look like Mother Brain. Not exactly like her, but just to have the brain matter in the eye, and then you can maybe have some more mechanical elements as well. All right, off to Bryo. I think aesthetically, Bryo is my favorite area in the game. The planet texture I did redo. It looks okay. Yeah, I think it turned out okay. I think it could be better, but I'm happy with it. Another thing I did was I actually went into the skybox for this area and I blurred those planets, the other, or whatever they are, those balls, because they just did not look good upscaled. So I also felt like, you know, there would be more of a blur at a distance like that, because some of them are so far off in the distance. But this area, man, and this landing and the music, oh, I love this area. It's awesome. See the skybox right back there. Those were too sharp, and maybe they're a little bit too blurry now, but overall I feel like it looks a lot better.
Samus, the Leviathan seed is protected by an energy shield. You will not be able to reach it with that barrier active. We need more data to determine how the shield can be disabled. You are near the wreckage of a downed Federation vessel. If you can use the satellite uplink on the ship, you may be able to access information concerning the seed. Prepare to receive the ship's coordinates now.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and save here, and this is gonna be where we pick up for the next video. I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. Again, that HD texture pack link is gonna be in the description of this video. So download that and check it out. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, I want to thank you guys again for tuning in, and we will see you again really, really soon.